My name is Nathanael-Kassa.
Sean-Wiley.
Hakim-Hneidan.
Page-Beeler.
Destini-Thomas.
And our project is on Domino's in Japan. So Domino's beginning was in 1960 when Tom and James bought their first pizza by borrowing $500. And in 1961, James traded his share of the store to Tom by trading his Volkswagen. And in 1965, Tom changed the name Dominic to Domino's. And in 1967, Tom opened his first store in Michigan. And by going international in 1985, they entered the Japanese market, and now they have 503 stores, and by 2022, they'll be opening 850 stores.
So entering the Japanese market, when you're a franchise for any business, you need either to have a joint venture or a local investor, master franchisor. Ours was Ernest Iga. Although the process is lengthy, it's very important so it can close the cultural distance between U.S. and Japan, just because we're two different countries, nothing alike as far as food. Many Western style businesses that don't follow this usually end up failing, and it's just because either they don't know enough about the culture, or it's just confusion between the two cultures. Some of the liabilities of foreignness, most of them are informal institutions. Again, that's kind of wrapped around culture and norms. If people don't do their due diligence, they won't be successful in Japan. At first, Domino's was very big in America, so they wanted to standardize their ingredients. But Iga knew, being from Japan, that this wouldn't work out and it would fail. So after convincing them, in 1985, Japan became the first, Domino's became the first company in Japan to deliver pizza. And Iga earned all franchising rights from Domino's.
Okay, when in Japan do as the Japanese do, this is a localization strategy. And even though localization is costly, it's the best thing for Domino's for it to be successful in the Japanese market. It maximizes local responsiveness, and like Paige said, it eliminates more liability of foreignness. Okay, so here's an example of the Domino's menu in the US. And then here's an example of the Domino's menu in Japan. And as you can see, in Japan, they offer shrimp and steak, things that we're unaccustomed to in the US. Okay, informal institutions. When doing business in Japan, Domino's will be faced with different informal and formal institutions. And when formal institutions fail or they're unclear, informal institutions have that persuasive attribute to make things more clear. They represent Japanese cultures, ethics, and norms. They're vital to any economy, and they shape the success and the failure. Some examples of informal are cognitive and normative. Cognitive is to be expected, and that's like exchanging business cards. So when you go to a meeting, I give them my business card and they give me theirs. And no does not always necessarily mean no. Normative is ought to be, emotions, ought to not be expressed, and you ought to be mature and think of everything with an open mind before you say no. Domino's is also a high context culture, which means that instead of saying no, they'll say we'll get back to you or we'll study it. And to communicate effectively, you have to study, like Paige said, and learn the different ethics and norms in communication.
So right here we have the Big Mac index comparison, basically saying if Big Mac has the same ingredients, this shows, without looking at the exchange rate, the cost of living in each country. So 1986 was the year after we entered the market in Japan. So we just used 1986 and today. In Japan in 1986, the Big Mac was a little bit over $2, and in the US, it was under $2. So from looking at this chart, we can tell that the cost of living was more in Japan than it was in the United States, and so on and so forth for Canada and Australia.
In 2014, Domino's company went public with their share. Their their first offer was 24.1 million shares, between the price of 15 and 17. And now that each share is costing about 280 per share in 2019. As Paige was explaining in the cost living, the GDP per capita in 1985, when we first entered the market, was about $120. And in 2019, it's expected to be $5,221 and increasing more. So the pizza industry has been continuing to grow in Japan. In 2017, 1.15 billion was the estimated segment for pizza, an increase of 0.4 from 2016.
So what are the benefits Domino's offers to Japan? Domino's offers Japanese customer luxury, premium toppings, also unique promotion and modes of ordering delivery, and also it's a good opportunity for hiring more people, and also it's a good source for the government from the tax and also the income taxes and the sales tax. And the marketing strategy, as we know, pizza is not a common food item in Japan, so they always try to make marketing to push people to buy pizza. For some examples, there is an interesting promotion they do on Wednesdays. They start doing that lately, actually, which is buy one pizza and get two for free. So that's really good promotion for Domino's and interesting. And also, Domino's, they usually like to change the shape of the pizza on the holidays, like Valentine. They do like love, they do like heart shape, so that makes interesting, like they make it interesting. And also, as we know, Japanese streets like narrows, so they offer delivering pizza by a small scooter, which is also interesting and differentiate from other countries.
A few of the biggest advantages Domino's have operating in Japan is its distribution and reach. Domino's large number of outlets supported by a strong distribution network that makes products available easily to large number of customers in a timely manner. Also is automation. The automation allows for consistency and quality in its products and provides the ability to scale up and down production. Also entering new markets, social media, and product portfolio. Right now, Domino's has a strong presence on social media that will reach many consumers in Japan. But one of the biggest weaknesses of Domino's in Japan is its diversification. Domino's is mainly about pizza, but in Japan, one of the biggest foods that they eat out there is sushi. So Domino's should definitely think about diversifying its portfolio and add sushi along with some other items that they eat in Japan. Opportunities. Some of the opportunities of Domino's working in Japan is the internet, the population, and tourism. In the internet, there has been an increase in the number of users in Japan. This means there's an opportunity for Domino's to expand their presence online by using the internet and interact with customers. Also, the population. The population in Japan has been growing and expected to grow at a positive rate over the years. This is beneficial for Domino's because it'll have more potential customers that they could target. And next are a few of the threats. Existing companies, like right there, Pizza Lab, new entrants into the pizza industry, which would lower Domino's market share, and also healthy eating. A lot of people in Japan are health conscious, so pizza is not what they want.
Corporate social responsibility is embedded in Domino's strategy, and this is a quote from the CEO in 2017. To ensure we build a sustainable business for the future, we focused our corporate responsibility activities on 4 key areas: our food, our environment, our colleagues, and our communities. In 2017, they spent over $10 million in charity efforts alone. These are examples of different charity events that Domino's has participated in over the years.
So one of our marketing proposals, we thought we could serve our pizza from vendors in the Tokyo Dome. Tokyo is one of their biggest cities. Also, the average Japanese only eats pizza maybe 4 times a year. This will put our product in their hand a lot more frequently. I'm sure they have way more games than 4 times a year. They also do these silly ads a lot in Japan. We're gonna go ahead and do a sumo wrestler fighting over some pizza, and that should bring our market share up and put our products in their hands a lot more often.
That's our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.